Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man as I bounce the ball off the ground and the backboard for the lob on what we will be talking today.
Kevin, I've never seen you do that before in my entire life. I'd be really excited to see you throw a pass like that, but
there's a first time for everything, and I think this could be the first time Luka could win MVP for the Mavs.
there's a chance. I definitely don't see it as like a zero. The problem is the three guys ahead of him are ahead of him. So, those top three I think Embiid's number one right now. Again, but the problem is his second best player, Maxey, is playing like a top 20 player in the league. Then you have Jokic as a very close second, and Giannis is a very close third. And then I'd even put Shea above Luka right now at 4 because he has the Thunder as the 2 seed right now in the West. He's averaging 31, 6, and 6. He's been remarkable. And then I'd probably put Luka 5. It's also really close at number 5 with Halliburton because of his impact on the team. He doesn't really have a next level player next to him besides I guess maybe Miles Turner, I guess, would be the closest to that. So besides those options, like I said, those would probably be around my top 5, but I could see Luka stepping in there and getting a top 3 finish at least.
Yeah, so the three guys you mentioned, it seems like it's the same names it has been for the past few years with Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. I was going to bring up Shea as well because you got Embiid leading in points, and then you have Luka. Embiid has 34.4, Luka has 32.9. Then you have Kevin Durant, but he's dealt with a lot of injuries. Then you have Shea right there in the top 5, 30.7, and you already mentioned the steals. And the Thunder are number 2 right now, so I think that's a fair MVP ladder, MVP rankings right now. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of Embiid just because of I just see the videos of him flopping and getting the points and getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, I understand that. There's definitely something about his game that can lead to some people not liking it, but I do think thus far he's been the most valuable player. But again, I would say that Jokic I still think is my favorite. With Giannis right up there with Embiid. It's really close. But again, most valuable doesn't mean best. I think Jokic is clearly the best along with Giannis right there, but it's most valuable. And I think averaging 34, 11, and 6 like Joel Embiid is doing right now on great splits puts him in that category where if it ended today, I would vote Embiid.
Okay. Yeah, I probably wouldn't vote Luka, but it feels like in past years, and this is very early for us to talk about the MVP, but it's just like it's always on people's minds, and I think there's an actual case now because I think Luka's had a great start to the year compared to previous years where it's taken him a little bit. Usually January, then people are like, oh, maybe he's in the talk for MVP, but it's too late then. So I would be very intrigued how it goes, but yeah, so it seems like the same people are in it, but you got Shea and you mentioned Halliburton. Those new guys really entering that MVP discussion.
Yeah. Tatum's also up there somewhere in MVP consideration, but I don't think he's a top 5 guy at the moment, especially because they have so many great players on that Boston team.
Yeah, that was going to bring that up. He has so many great players, like you mentioned. And does Dame being on the Bucks affect Giannis's case?
I don't think so as much because I think not Halliburton. I think Maxey has been either just as good or very, very similar, close enough because Maxey's averaging more points, more rebounds, and more assists, I believe, than Damian Lillard. Tyrese Maxey's averaging 25.8, 4, and 6.7. So that's why I would say that it probably hurts. Actually, I forgot that Dame dropped 40 last night. So Dame just passes Maxey by 0.5. But Maxey, I guess Damian is barely ahead of Maxey in every stat. 0.5 rebounds above and 0.3 assists above. He's within half a stat in all of them. So I'd have to push the question, does having Tyrese Maxey hurt Embiid? Because if you think that having Dame hurts Giannis, I think that because of shooting splits, I think Maxey's been better than Dame this year. And if you believe that Dame hurts Giannis, then Maxey hurts Embiid.
I think that's fair when you bring up the stats. Yeah, I think Dame is just, you've had that name, and it looks like Maxey's really starting to develop. So that could be that it seems like they both wash out, if that makes sense. Like, okay, these guys have great point guards. Jokic has Jamal Murray.
But Murray's been
Luka
out for a while. That's
Yeah.
my thing with, I still think he's the favorite when we talk about most valuable, because while Murray's averaging 6 less points than those two guys mentioned, and he's only played 14 games. And he's day-to-day right now. So we'll see if he ends up playing in their next game. But while he's shooting well from the field and he's been consistent, he's again only averaging 18 points. So, and he's averaging less points by 8. He's averaging less rebounds, a 1.5 less assists, basically. So that second best player between those three players, it's clear that Jokic has the least of the bunch.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's it. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add, but yeah, it does seem like those are the guys. I do like that Shea, and I know Halliburton assist-wise is similar to Luka, and they're both similar to when Harden and Russell Westbrook won the MVP in his assist numbers. So that's the case for both of those guys. And we kind of talked about Shea as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, the assists honestly aren't that close between Halliburton and Luka. Halliburton's at 11.9, so basically 12. Luka's at 9.1. That's almost 3 assists different. Trae Young second in assists in the league with 11 flat, and then Jokic averaged more assists than Luka as well at 9.4. So
I can't remember what the stat was. There was some stat. It was like, I can't remember it, but it was during a Mavs broadcast, and it could have changed because I think it was a week or two ago. But it was Luka tied with Halliburton, and they were close to Russell Westbrook's numbers when he won the MVP.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to find that stat before the next time we do this, but we'll definitely reconvene in this talk about the NBA MVP around the All-Star break, or maybe a little bit after that, because that's really when it starts to heat up.
Yeah, this is kind of like, all right, we're getting our ingredients together for what we're about to cook, and then once you start cooking.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That's all we got. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions, and be on the lookout for our next video.